Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Empowered Indie Artist channel and podcast. Today's video is for the parents of tweens and teenagers that are hoping to pursue a music career. I'm sure the very thought of that has you up at night worrying and stressing, but I've got some information for you. I also have an ebook that is written specifically for parents. It's an overall look at the music industry from the parents' perspective. I've also got some words of advice from parents who have been exactly where you are, things they wish they hadn't done, or things they would do differently or better, or things they would do again. I hope that it's helpful for you. There's a link in the description to purchase it if you are interested. So today's video is all about 6 tips to help parents of kids who want to be pop stars. Tip number 1, encourage them. Discouraging them by telling them, oh, that is way too hard. It only sends the message to your kid that they're not good enough or smart enough to do hard things. Now, I know that's not a message you want to send to your kid, right? And here's this for ironic, okay? If your kid says, I want to be a doctor, would you be like, oh, no, that is too hard? You wouldn't, because it's actually very hard to be a doctor, but it requires planning, it requires discipline, it requires working hard in school over a long period of time. And being a musician, a successful musician, requires the same level of discipline. It's just not quite as mapped out, and there's definitely, I would say, a stigma attached to even saying that you want to be a professional musician, whereas if you understand what that means and you understand the way that the music business works today, you can come to learn that really it's just a matter of being focused, setting goals, having landmarks, and having some guides and some coaches along the way. So tip number 1, please encourage them. Do not tell them, oh, that's too hard, because all that's going to do is discourage them and have them, 20 years later wishing that their parents had supported them in their dreams for music, because now their soul is dying while they're working the drive up at Del Taco. And I not at all, saying anybody working the drive up at Del Taco isn't happy. I'm just saying that whatever job they have, they're going to be resenting the fact that they're not doing what they really love and what they're passionate about, and that is music. There you go. Okay. Tip number 2. Right after encouraging them, you will want to help them understand that being an artist or a musician in today's world is like building a business. If they've never done anything entrepreneurial yet, this is a perfect time to introduce them to it. So tip number 2, introduce them to the concept of being an entrepreneur. Are they babysitting? Are they mowing lawns? Are they running a lemonade stand? Are they walking dogs? If so, explain to them that being a musician is exactly the same thing. It requires work, it requires planning, it requires a vision of what success looks like. It's not always fun, but sometimes it's fun, and it can be rewarding if you stick with a plan. Now, if they've never done anything like this, this is a great time to get them started. Their first small business can even be a perfect training ground, but also can help them fund their new music business. So if they've never done anything like this before, this is a great time to say, okay, let's learn about being an entrepreneur. And at the same time, let's see if we can create a business that will help you earn some money that we can then funnel into your music business that you're going to start, which is going to be probably more expensive and probably a longer process than, say, a babysitting business. You could probably start that with very little money, maybe a little bit of advertising or branding set up on social media, but essentially you can just start working right away. Now, a music business is going to take a little bit more investment than that. But anyway, you can see that how helpful that could be for them to parallel it to another small business, and one that could feed the music business is also a great, can be a really great, could be a really great way to help them see the fruits of their labor really right away. Number 3, help them go through the artist branding workbook. I've got a link to it below, and what this is going to do, it's going to help them zero in on their why and their purpose in pursuing music. For some kids, they are really interested in, the fame. And so it might be good at this early stage to have them be thinking, wait a minute, is it really about music, or is it more about wanting to be famous? If you can help them make some decisions without shaming them, because there's no shame in wanting to be famous either. But let's just be real here. There's probably easier ways to become famous than to pursue music. For example, if they are interested in being in commercials or TV shows, then get them started on that track, which in a lot of ways can be easier and cheaper than music. But get down to the bottom of their why. What is their purpose in doing this? The other thing that the branding workbook will help them with is to really get an idea of their visual aesthetic, the narrative that they want to share with the world, who they are as an artist. And then at that point, they can set up their social media, which, of course, as a parent, you're most likely going to want to be the one in charge of setting all of that up and monitoring it, at least until they're of a certain age. Number 4, find a coach or team of coaches that understand what it takes to be successful in the music industry today. They will most likely need a voice coach, a songwriting coach, a performance coach. It really depends on what their overall area of expertise is, what their goals are, what their why is. If they are interested in being an actor, singer, performer, dancer, you're going to need a team of coaches to help with that. So make sure that you're not just, oh, they sing around the house, so they're ready to go pursue music. They can sound like naturally talented singers when they're walking around the house, but until they're actually in a situation where they're being pushed and coached, they're most likely not going to be ready for any part of being an entrepreneur musician. They really need some guidance along the way. They need some marinating within their talent for sure. So don't rush the process, which takes us to tip number 5. Don't rush the process. Sending them to an American Idol audition before they're ready, or to the recording studio before they're ready, it can really become a traumatic event for them, because most likely they're not going to be successful. They might even have a horrible experience where they're flat out rejected or told that they suck. You do not want them to have these traumatic experiences, before they're even ready to start. So make sure that they're as properly prepared as they can before you do anything like that. They need these positive experiences that encourage them to keep progressing, which of course goes hand in hand with finding good team members, good coaches. If they have good coaches that are encouraging them, supporting them, and training them properly, this can really be a great way to prepare them emotionally and within their talent, for sure. Like, for example, finding a vocal coach that knows how to record, that can help prepare them for recording sessions, so that they're doing these mock recording sessions, way before they're actually going to the studio to record. That can be great preparation, great training for them. Performing live at local events and open mic nights, that can also be a great way for them to experience audience attention or lack of attention. In other words, how to actually engage with an audience. And it can also help them develop those live performance skills, which is a skill that needs to be developed. Tip number 6, keep tabs on their mental health. If they are becoming discouraged or start to lose interest, it can be really tempting to say, I'm not letting you quit now. We've invested all this money and time into this. The reality is they may just need a break. I've seen parents pressure the kids to the point where eventually the kids just refuse to sing. They just they're like, nope, I'm not doing it. Don't let this happen. Understand that this is a journey and it is uniquely difficult. Even though I compare it to being an entrepreneur, just like running a lemonade stand, it's a very vulnerable form of expression that they're choosing to do. So it really does take a toll on anyone's mental health if not done strategically and they're not taking time to balance their life. So if they express an interest in not wanting to do something or are suddenly feeling really insecure about performing, that's okay. Make sure that their mental health is the number one priority as they pursue this. Give them the break, let them be in control, let them feel empowered to take the lead on everything. And if they do quit after a couple of years and lots of money invested and they say, I cannot do it anymore, I'm done, cut yourself free of that and say, okay, fine. As soon as you feel ready to do it again, let me know. We'll see if I'm in a position to help you again. If not, you might be on your own, but I want you to be the one in control of this. Let them know that they're the ones in control. And while some kids that may be very scary, that's fine. It's fine. They can do it when they're adults, when you're not the ones having to foot the bill. So don't be afraid of stepping back and letting them take control. All right, that's it for today. I hope this was helpful. Again, check out the ebook called Help, My Kid Wants to Be a Pop Star. It's full of tons of really, really great information, a lot more details on the music industry and how it works, the who's who of the music industry and when you might need those people. I've also got a bunch of quotes and words of advice from other parents that have been exactly where you are. I hope you find it helpful, and I'll see you next time.